Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Pooja, and today is officially the beginning of October, which means I'm here to share all the things that I've read in September. I have read over 4 books. I've never documented my process of reading books, so I have no idea what is considered a good month or a bad month, but I am here for the ride and I'll make you the judgment of that because I have no idea what that constitutes for. But I'm here to discuss all the books I read. I didn't have a 5-star read. Some got close, but that's okay. I am a very pretentious reader, so there's not a lot of books that actually get to the 5-star read. So the first book I want to talk about is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And Taylor Jenkins Reid, she's like one of my favorite authors. I absolutely love everything that she writes. For me, I love books with really good characters. Oftentimes, every time I read a book from her, I have to Google and search for the characters because I want to know if they're real or not. So, for example, I've read Daisy Jones and the Six. It was kind of based off of the band. It was based off of the band Fleetwood Mac, and I could definitely tell that because they felt so believable. Just to be honest with you, I'm really bad at giving intros and like explaining what it's about. So majority of the time I'm probably going to be like reading off of the book itself. But so Atmosphere is about Joan Goodwin. Like, she's the main person who's obsessed with stars, obsessed with space, and she is one of the first women to join the NASA Space Shuttle program. And she is selected among thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, and then begins training at the Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside a couple of candidates. So like Hank, John Griffin, Lydia. So it's really like the whole book is about their lives as they're training into space, and it definitely shoots back and forth through different timelines and talks about the characters and all that stuff. I would rate this book a 3.5 out of stars, and I know it might be low because considering the fact that I really love this author. I again, like, the book was still really good, but if you compare it to the other plots, I think my expectations is because this book was about space, I really wanted to see more about the space. Obviously, like, most of her books are dealing with characters, and it is important to have really good characters, but I didn't feel that there was enough talking about the actual space mission, and it felt like it was like 20% of the full book itself. Okay, so the next book I want to talk about is First Time Caller by B.K. Morrison. And this is like a rendition of, like, this is a modernized version of Sleepless in Seattle. I've never watched the movie. I know, like, I watched Bollywood movies growing up, so I have no cultural reference to like majority of American movies, but it definitely takes its own turn. So it's about Aiden Valentine, and he is the host of this he's a radio talk show host of this kind of like this section where he like talks about love, gets in callers to talk about their relationships and stuff. It's ironic because in the beginning he really hates his job and he's like yelling at people. So everyone is like scared. Like, everyone's scared of losing their jobs because the ratings are so low. But then a little kid like joins the call and asks about her mother and wanting her mother to find a date. Lucy is the mother of the daughter, and then they decide to have a segment where they bring Lucy in and help her find a date. And that is a way for Aiden to revive the ratings of this talk show host. I had no expectations up front. I would rate this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. I loved the dialogue between Aiden and Lucy. The plot line was really simple and easy to understand, and there was just so many different, like, it felt like I was actually watching a movie. And that's like the tier that I really love with any book that I have. It doesn't matter if it's romance or any genre. If I can feel like I'm watching a movie, then you've like got me hooked. The next book I want to talk about is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I really like this book. I rated it a 3.5 stars. So this book is about this cafe. So one book has 4 short stories in it, and it's about a cafe in Tokyo, and it's about how this cafe or coffee shop can travel back in time. So people go to this coffee shop, and a lot of these people are burdened with guilt. They want to reconcile a past relationship. And so they go to this cafe to go back in time, but there's caveats to it. So in this cafe shop, you can't change the past. You're not allowed to change the past. You have to stay in the past, and you have to return back before the coffee gets cold. So like around 30 seconds. And you have a specific seat you have to stay in. So you can't like get up. You have to stay in that specific seat at all times. And there's a lot more caveats that come with it. I just don't remember it. But I was honestly confused. I also have a reading vlog. So I have a reading vlog about this specific book. So I can put this in the description below if you want to like know more about my updates about it. But I was very confused on the premise because there's so many restrictions on what you can and can't do. And it made me question, why would anyone want to travel back in time based on the restrictions given? But it was still like humorous, it was still funny, and I really liked the different types of stories that were intertwined within the four short stories within that book. I rated it 3.5 stars. I really liked it. I think the thing that was missing for me was to know more about the characters. It felt like they just said the background of the characters. And I know that they're just, because they were all short stories, there just wasn't enough time to write fully exactly what was going on in each person's life. It felt like it was just telling us what information we needed to know. And I would rather have it show us the information that we needed to know. Okay, so the last book that I read is Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. By far, this is probably one of the weirdest books I have read in 2025. I was in the mood for a thriller, so this is a thriller book, and it has probably one of the weirdest premises. So the character is Poe Webb. She is the host of a popular web show, and it's a true crime podcast. She invites people to anonymously confess crimes they've committed to her audience. And I think because of the premise, because it's so weird that people are ready to tune in to hear what people have actually committed. But everything changes when a man appears on the show and he claims to be her mother's murderer. But Poe knows something that no one else on that call knows, is that she knows that her mother's murderer is dead. That obviously is a very weird premise. I usually don't get scared often. Like, I can watch gore, or I can watch a lot of these things. I can handle really graphic content. This kind of freaks me out. I can deal with paranormal stuff, but when it comes to people acting crazy, or when it comes to like serial killers, that's what freaks me out the most. I was reading this at night, and I think I ended up sleeping on my couch because I just didn't want to move at all. I didn't want to move locations because I was paranoid that someone would follow me. I also really liked the format, but when you read the format, you see like 2 or 3 pages, and it's like always keeping you on your toes. The way that it's written, it's not like written like one chapter. There's probably over 100 chapters in this book, but each chapter is very small and short, so it's very easy to read and very easy to digest. I would rate this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. I think the only thing is that the ending, for me, I could have predicted it, I don't know if everyone predicted it, but for me, like, kind of put two and two together, and it wasn't shocking to hear the ending of it. But I really do think that people should read this book regardless. It was really good. And so that's all the books I've read in the month of September. And I know, like, I didn't have a 5-star read, but that's not the point. I generally did really liked a lot of the books that I picked up. And it's interesting to like get out of your comfort zone because I don't really read thrillers as much, but I really liked this book. And then Before the Coffee Gets Cold, that was a book that I probably wouldn't have picked up if I thought about it, but I'm glad I did because it was just an interesting concept, and I might go into reading different books with based on different like countries, and maybe that would be a cool series to know about like other cultures and how they write and like what is considered the norm in their cultures as well. But like let me know in the comments what type of books that you would want me to read or if there's any type of books you want me to explain further into detail. But I'll see you in the next video.